What to know on the fourth day of the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran. Israel sent troops into Lebanon on the fourth day of the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran, as some of Iran's Gulf neighbors warned that its retaliatory fire could draw them into a widening war in the Middle East. Americans have already been urged to leave 14 countries in the region due to serious safety risks. President Trump on Monday defended the war as the last best chance to address the threat posed by Iran's ballistic missiles and nuclear program, and he warned it could last longer than the 4 to 5 weeks he'd predicted earlier. He has not ruled out sending in U.S. ground troops. 6 U.S. troops have been killed during the war, hit by Iranian fire in Kuwait, while 18 others have been seriously wounded. The Iranian Red Crescent said at least 787 people have been killed in Iran, but reports inside the country suggest the toll is more likely already in the thousands. UK considers sending warship to Cyprus base after Trump lashes out at British leader. The UK is deciding whether it will deploy its HMS Duncan warship to protect its Royal Air Force base in Cyprus after an Iranian drone hit a runway at the base on Monday, CBS News partner network BBC News reported Tuesday. The potential move comes after President Trump told Britain's Sun tabloid newspaper that UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer had taken a not helpful stance on the war with Iran. The relationship between the US and UK was not like it used to be, Mr. Trump told The Sun, as he praised other European countries, including France and Germany. "I never thought I'd see that. I never thought I'd see that from the UK," Mr. Trump said. Starmer declined the Trump administration's request to use British bases for offensive operations in Iran, but gave permission for them to be used for what the Prime Minister called the defensive purpose of eliminating Iranian missile installations. On Monday, Starmer told UK lawmakers that the lessons of history have taught us that it is important when we make decisions like this that we establish there is a lawful basis for what the United Kingdom is doing. That is one of the lessons from Iraq, and that there's a viable, thought-through plan with an objective that can be achieved or has a viable prospect of being achieved. That is the principle that I applied to the decisions that I made over the weekend. When asked Tuesday whether the U.S. strikes in Iran were legal under international law, Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister Darren Jones said, "It's not for me to comment on the legal basis of actions taken by other countries." Iran says nobody killed in U.S. or Israeli strikes on suspected meeting to pick new supreme leader. Iran's state media played down an apparent attempt by the U.S. or Israel to blow up a gathering of senior clerics expected to soon pick the country's new supreme leader, following the killing on Saturday of longtime ruler Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iran's Fars news agency said strikes hit buildings in the capital Tehran and the holy city of Qom, but that the Tehran site had been evacuated and the Qom building was no longer in use. The grounds of the Assembly of Experts in Tehran, the former building of the Islamic Consultative Assembly, were also targeted by attacks from fighter jets of the terrorist armies of America and Israel, Iran's state-run Fars news agency said Tuesday. Iran's Mehr news agency also played down the impact of the strike, calling the building that was hit in Qom an old secondary structure no longer used for meetings of the Assembly of Experts. The assembly is composed of 88 members who, under Iran's constitution, are tasked with electing the country's new supreme leader, who alone has the ultimate say on all matters. Before the strike, Israel's Mossad intelligence agency said in a post on social media in the Farsi language used in Iran that it did not matter who is chosen today, his fate has been decreed. Only the Iranian nation will choose their future leader. The message was accompanied by a graphic depicting senior Iranian clerics being toppled as dominoes. On Sunday, one day into the war, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said if the U.S. and Israel's goal was regime change, that is an impossible mission. The absence or death of the leader does not mean that. Araghchi told the Qatari TV network Al Jazeera that state institutions remain in place and we have constitutional procedures. You may see the election of a new supreme leader within a day or two. Gas prices rise in the U.S. as Iran war widens. The national average for a gallon of gas in the U.S. climbed to $3.11 on Tuesday, according to AAA. It is the first time the average cost of a gallon has risen over $3 since late November. Fuel costs had already edged higher this year on concern about flaring tension between the U.S. and Iran. The national average a month ago was $2.88, while a week ago was $2.95.